Welcome to Artificially Literate, the show where books, films, and ideas meet deep thought and curiosity. Every deep dive explores a piece of literature, maybe a compelling video, or sometimes a cultural moment, breaking down its philosophical and literal meanings. Whether you're a lover of stories, a seeker of meaning, or maybe just someone who enjoys a thoughtful takeaway, well, this is your space to reflect, learn, and look at the world just a little differently. Today, we're plunging headfirst into a world that, let's be honest, pretty much redefines supernatural romance for an entire generation. We're talking about Stephenie Meyer's New Moon, Book 2 of the iconic Twilight Saga. And we're not just, recounting plot points here. We're really trying to unpack a story that dives incredibly deep into themes of profound loss, the quest for identity, the allure of dangerous choices, and that impossibly complex dance between human and supernatural love. It's a tale that, despite its fantastical setting, really resonates with our own very real, often messy, struggles to find meaning, belonging, connection, in a world that can often feel entirely beyond our control.
Exactly. New Moon isn't just a bridge, between Twilight and Eclipse. It's more like a crucible for Bella Swan's character.
Mm,
It offers this extraordinarily rich landscape for exploring the emotional fallout of abandonment,
right.
the seductive allure of recklessness as well as a coping mechanism, and the profound, often surprising impact of finding unexpected solace in the most unlikely of places. We'll be looking at how Bella's intensely personal journey, even though it's set in this fantastical world, reflects really universal human experiences, from the absolute depths of despair and existential crisis
Yeah.
to that flickering hope of new beginnings and ultimately forging a more resilient self.
And Meyer really doesn't pull any punches right from the get-go, does she?
Yeah.
We want to start with a quote that just perfectly captures the raw, almost visceral despair at the heart of Bella's early journey in this book. It's a statement that immediately tells you the emotional stakes are not just high, they're devastatingly so. She thinks, in failing at this, I forfeited any desire to live. That's a powerful, almost shocking statement to kick things off, isn't it? Doesn't feel like hyperbole. It feels deeply, genuinely felt.
It truly is. What's striking is how immediately that quote just grounds us in Bella's intense emotional state.
Yep.
It reveals this core theme of existential crisis that goes far beyond, typical young adult romance.
Well, absolutely.
It's not merely about a teenage breakup. It's like an obliteration of her raison d'etre, her reason for being, her identity, her sense of purpose, her very will to live. It had all become so profoundly externalized, focused on Edward, that his departure creates this absolute vacuum.
Yeah, a void.
Exactly. And this connects to profound philosophical questions about where we as humans derive our meaning. What happens when your entire world, your ultimate reason for being, maybe your deeply ingrained sense of self-worth, is suddenly just ripped away?
How do you even rebuild?
How do you begin to reconstruct a sense of self from that kind of profound nothingness? It's a huge question the book tackles head on.
The dark descent and a flicker of light.
Okay, let's really unpack this journey into the literal and metaphorical darkness Bella experiences, because it is truly a profound descent. The story kicks off with her 18th birthday, right? A day she's been dreading for months.
Dread
And it's not just any birthday, it's this stark, almost painful, and as she notes, increasingly quantifiable reminder of her own fleeting mortality compared to Edward's eternal static youth. She describes it herself, thinking, every day I got older, but this was different, worse, quantifiable.
That word quantifiable is key.
It is. This age discrepancy isn't just some simple plot point, It feels like a profoundly unsettling philosophical anchor. Meyer taps into this ancient human anxiety, the memento mori, that stark reminder of our own impending death,
Right.
juxtaposed with the vampire ideal of static, unchanging perfection. It's the ultimate romantic tragedy, really. This yearning for an eternal connection when one partner is irrevocably tied to the cycles of birth and decay and the other is just outside of time. It forces us to ask, is true love even possible if one person's very existence is a constant ticking reminder of the other's inevitable end? It's heavy stuff.
That's a profound way to frame it. And for Bella, that desire for permanence isn't just like a philosophical concept. It's intrinsically linked to Edward, to the stability, the meaning, the very life he represents for her, even if that stability is, well, supernatural.
Right, the opposite of her own perceived fragility.
Exactly. Her mortality, in contrast, feels like a betrayal almost,
Yeah.
a ticking clock against their potential eternity together.
Yeah.
Her self-worth here seems inextricably linked to her perceived compatibility within this extraordinary supernatural world.
Yeah.
She feels like she's growing further away.
Literally older.
Literally and metaphorically, yes. Away from the eternal being she loves. And then, at the birthday party the Cullens throw for her, things escalate dramatically.
Oh, yeah, the paper cut.
The infamous paperhead incident. It's not just a clumsy accident. It's this visceral, terrifying demonstration of the inherent danger. Jasper, one of the Cullens who, let's say, struggles most with self-control.
Understatement.
Big understatement. He reacts uncontrollably to the smell of Bella's blood, actually lunges at her.
Terrifying.
Edward's response is swift, fiercely protective, naturally. But the incident also plunges him into this intense, self-flagellating guilt. This isn't a minor event, it's a pivotal catalyst. It's a terrifying physical manifestation of the ever-present danger Bella faces just by choosing to be with vampires.
That tension is always there.
Always. That constant, sharp tension between love and survival that forces these impossible choices upon Edward. And Meyer gives us the vivid details. Jasper lunging, Carlisle immediate, calm medical intervention. Bella describing the dizzying, metallic smell of her own blood.
Ugh.
Edward is consumed by this silent, almost violent fury at himself at the situation, while Carlisle, ever the calm, rational patriarch,
Always Carlisle.
he offers a sincere apology, even mentioning his personal faith and the profound paradox of his own existence as a vampire doctor. It's quite a moment.
And it's this incident, this moment of almost unbearable vulnerability for Bella that pushes Edward to make what he believes is the only possible choice. And here's where it gets truly devastating for Bella. Utterly devastating.
Mm-hmm.
Edward, consumed by guilt and this deeply held, though you could argue misguided, belief that he is an unavoidable danger to her, he makes the agonizing decision to leave. To leave Forks, leave Bella, promising her, in this chillingly final tone, it will be as if I'd never existed.
Chilling is the right word.
Talk about a clean break, or at least his attempt at one. This act of self-sacrifice, however well-intentioned he thinks it is,
Right, from his perspective.
proves to be profoundly painful for Bella and serves as the central pivot in the entire narrative. It really explores this complex, almost heartbreaking idea of loving someone so intensely that you truly believe removing yourself from their life is the only way to genuinely protect them.
It's a difficult concept.
It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Is there a line where protection becomes control, or maybe even a form of cruelty, when you strip someone of their agency in the name of saving them?
That's a really good question.
And Bella's description of his departure is just gut-wrenching. She says, he was gone. Love, life, meaning, over.
Just over.
She literally feels a physical manifestation of her grief, describing a huge hole had been punched through my chest, excising my most vital organs.
That physical pain.
Yeah. And then in her dazed state, she just aimlessly wanders in the forest for hours, lost in her despair. It's almost as if she's trying to physically manifest her internal emptiness.
That visceral description, the feeling of an actual physical wound, it speaks volumes about the depth of Bella's despair.
Yeah.
It's not just emotional pain, it's an almost tangible sense of loss, like an amputation.
Yeah, exactly.
If we connect this to the broader psychological picture, it's a powerful, raw portrayal of acute grief. It certainly mirrors symptoms of clinical depression.
Oh, definitely.
And that feeling of utter brokenness that can follow profound abandonment. Her numbness, the emotional shutdown she experiences.
The zombie months.
Right, the zombie months. It's presented not just as a state of mind, but as a critical, desperate defense mechanism against a pain too immense to fully bear. Is her mind and body shutting down to survive the trauma?
It makes sense psychologically.
It does. We then see months pass in this hazy blur of numbness and self-inflicted isolation for Bella. Her father, Charlie, becomes increasingly concerned, understandably. He tries various ways to get her to move on, or even suggests sending her away to Florida to her mother, Renee.
But she refuses.
Completely resists.
Yeah.
The text vividly portrays her withdrawal, showing us not just that she is suffering, but how it manifests. The difficulty breathing she describes, the inability to connect with her friends, her total lack of interest in her old life, even her disinterest in the scrapbook Renee sent, or the camera from Charlie. Tokens of a life she can't connect to anymore.
She's just detached from everything that used to define her. Her life literally becomes this blank space where Edward used to be.
A void. Exactly.
It's a profoundly dark period, and you really feel the weight of it as a reader. It's oppressive. But amid this profound despair, a new, unexpected, and utterly different kind of light slowly begins to shine.
A different kind of warmth.
Jacob Black. He represents warmth, grounding, and a profoundly different kind of connection, especially as Bella, in her desperation, starts channeling her pain into increasingly reckless behavior.
Right, the recklessness.
She initially seeks out Jacob, partly to avoid Charlie's nagging concern, maybe partly because he's just a warm, familiar presence in the void. But soon she finds genuine solace in helping him rebuild these old motorcycles.
The motorcycles, yeah, a tangible project.
Exactly. And in these moments, she discovers this new, exhilarating way to feel alive, a way to, as she puts it, cheat on her empty contract with Edward. It's like finding some perverse sense of freedom from her grief, a way to reclaim some agency, maybe.
Or at least feel something.
Yes. Her recklessness, whether it's riding these dangerous old motorcycles or, later, the infamous cliff diving, it's a perverse form of self-medication. It's a way to chase adrenaline and, strangely, a way to evoke Edward's velvet voice or memory.
The hallucinations.
As if pushing boundaries might somehow make him reappear, or at least confirm he still cares enough to warn her.
It powerfully highlights the complex, often self-destructive coping mechanisms people develop in the face of profound, all-consuming loss.
And Jacob himself is described as having this inherent happiness and warmth, like an earthbound sun.
Great description.
Bella finds comfort in his presence and the thrill of the motorcycle rides. Even Edward's hallucinated voice condemns her reckless and childish and idiotic behavior.
Yet she chases it.
Almost addicted to the pain and the fleeting illusion of his presence. It's fascinatingly unhealthy.
That's such an astute observation about the addiction to the illusion. What's really intriguing here is this idea of Bella actively seeking out danger. Not necessarily with a conscious desire to end her life, maybe, but specifically to provoke this hallucination of Edward's voice, to confirm he still cared enough to warn her.
Right, that twisted logic of grief.
It compels us to consider, when grief becomes so overwhelmingly potent, how do we truly differentiate between genuine coping mechanisms and, well, self-destructive escapism?
It's a blurry line.
A very blurry line. It's a raw exploration of the mind's capacity to create its own reality, to fill an unbearable void, even if that reality is a dangerous illusion. And as her friendship with Jacob deepens, along with his friends Quill and Embry, Belle begins to find these fleeting moments of joy.
Real joy.
Yeah, and a renewed sense of purpose in their company. This simple, tangible connection full of easy laughter, shared projects, genuine human interaction. It offers such a stark contrast to her previous solitary suffering.
The garage scenes feel so normal almost.
They do. These moments gently pull her out of her internal abyss, providing her with an anchor back to the human world, even if only temporarily. They offer a different kind of solace, a warmth that isn't dependent on the ethereal, but on solid, grounded human connection.
It's almost as if she's testing the boundaries of her own despair, isn't she? Seeing how much joy she can still feel, how much danger she can court, and how much of Edward's lingering presence she can conjure. It's such a very fragile balance. And that balance is perfectly encapsulated by this quote, I think. A profound realization that captures the core conflict of her heart. Love is irrational. The more you love someone, the less sense anything made.
That really sums up her internal state in this part of the book, doesn't it? The confusion, the pain, the pull in different directions.
Unveiling the supernatural undercurrents.
So just as Bella starts to maybe stitch together a fragile new normalcy with Jacob, finding some solace in his warmth and the grounding presence of his friends, the universe, or maybe just fate, decides to rip that comfort away again.
Of course. Can't have nice things for too long.
Apparently not. Because lurking beneath Fork's calm surface, a different kind of mystery begins to unfold. Jacob and his friends are visibly changing.
Physically changing.
And there's growing talk of this mysterious cult, led by the older, more enigmatic Sam Yulee.
Yeah, the cult narrative starts up.
Jacob's physical changes are undeniable. His beautiful long hair is suddenly cropped short. He gains significant muscle mass almost overnight.
Like unnaturally fast.
Right. And he emits this unusual, almost radiating heat that Bella can physically feel, even through his clothes.
That intense heat.
And his friends, Embry and Quill, they also start exhibiting strange behavior, eventually joining Sam Yulee's increasingly insular group, leaving Bella feeling confused and kind of left out again.
Pushed aside again.
Exactly. This storyline brilliantly introduces the element of inherited destiny and the heavy burden of ancient traditions. It's something that isn't a choice, but a birthright for them.
It's in their blood.
Jacob's transformation isn't a conscious decision. It's a genetic inheritance, tying him directly to the Quileute legends and their ancient sacred role as protectors.
It's a masterful piece of world building, truly. What's so compelling here is how the narrative cleverly weaves in the Quileute tribal legends. It gives the supernatural elements this rich cultural history and depth that extends far beyond just, fantasy tropes.
It grounds it.
Yeah,
Somehow.
it really does. It roots the fantastical in a tangible historical context, linking these shapeshifters to generations of their ancestors. Placing this in a broader context, it compels us to consider, how do ancient beliefs and inherited responsibility shape individual identity and personal choices in the modern world?
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah.
What happens when your destiny is predestined by your bloodline?
Jacob himself describes his internal struggle, doesn't he? Admitting, "It creeps me out." He expresses both anger and profound confusion regarding Sam Yuli's increasingly dominant influence over him and his friends.
It feels like he's losing himself.
He's losing his own autonomy, being pulled into something ancient and powerful that he doesn't fully understand yet. We learn the Quileute legends, their sacred descent from wolves, and their role as protectors against the Cold Ones, or vampires. This centuries-old enmity.
A built-in conflict.
Absolutely. The physical manifestations of being a werewolf are quite striking too, aren't they? An incredibly increased body temperature, like 108, 109 degrees Fahrenheit.
Crazy high.
And an almost instantaneous rapid healing ability that just defies human understanding.
And then there's the story about Emily.
Right? We even hear the chilling story of Emily Young's scars, a horrific and permanent consequence of her fiancé Paul's initial uncontrolled transformation. It underlines the inherent dangers and volatile power of this inherited destiny.
It shows it's not all cool powers. There are real risks.
Definitely. This revelation completely reframes the perceived cult as a functional, necessary defense mechanism. It's a structured pact designed for survival, not just some random gang, and it introduces that vital, long-standing treaty between the Quileutes and the Cullens,
The tree.
adding complex layers to the local supernatural dynamics that Bella is just beginning to understand, and which will have profound implications for her future.
So, okay, if that wasn't enough to contend with ancient werewolf protectors, a heartbroken best friend turning into one, what does this all mean for Bella, now caught between these shifting allegiances and ancient rivalries? Well, her newfound fragile peace with Jacob is suddenly threatened by the return of a familiar and deeply personal danger.
Victoria.
Victoria, the vengeful one.
Exactly. We learn that Laurent, a nomadic vampire Bella previously knew from the first book.
The one who seems kind of reasonable.
Sort of, yeah. He returns to Forks, but he's not alone. He's now working for Victoria, who, as James's mate from Twilight, is seeking relentless revenge against Bella for James's death.
Mate for mate. It's a chilling mate for mate philosophy. An eye for an eye in the supernatural world. Victoria's relentless pursuit adds this tangible, immediate threat to Bella's very life, escalating the stakes dramatically. And it brings a darker, more predatory side of the vampire world into sharp, terrifying focus. Laurent's chilling description of Victoria's planned torture for Bella.
Ugh, yeah, he spells it out.
Designed to be slow and excruciating, along with his own barely contained thirst for human blood. It paints a truly grim picture of her impending demise.
You really think she's done for in that moment?
You do. It's only the timely and incredibly violent intervention of the nascent werewolf pack that saves Bella. They literally tear Laurent apart.
A shocking scene.
And Jacob's casual dismissal afterwards of killing a bloodsucker. His words, "Vampires don't count as people." It starkly illustrates the ingrained ancient enmity and the profound, almost spiritual division between their species.
That line from Jacob really crystallizes the deep-seated animosity, doesn't it? It compels us to consider, does the presence of one external threat, Victoria, inadvertently validate the existence and necessity of another, the newly formed werewolf pack?
Yeah, the enemy of my enemy.
Exactly. It's a classic enemy of my enemy scenario, forcing Bella to reconsider her understanding of who is truly a monster and who is a protector in her world. What's so compelling here is how Jacob's burgeoning pack mentality, his absolute loyalty, and his fiercely protective instincts provide such a stark and very human contrast to Edward's self-imposed isolation and his more calculated, often detached approach to protection.
Two very different kinds of protection.
Very different. And then, as if Bella hasn't suffered enough emotional whiplash, The terrifying truth about Edward's plan finally comes to light, pulling us right back into the vampire world with a jolt.
Alice's return.
Alice, Edward's sister, returns to Forks, having seen a vision, though she later learns her visions are imperfect and often completely blocked by the presence of werewolves, which she initially didn't understand.
A crucial detail.
Very crucial. This vision leads her to believe Bella has committed suicide by cliff diving. It turns out to be false information based on something Rosalie relayed to Edward.
Rosalie.
Always helpful.
Yes. Alice reveals Edward's utter despair upon hearing this news and his drastic plan to provoke the Volturi.
The vampire royalty.
Essentially, yes.
Yeah.
The ancient, powerful, and almost absolute governing body of the entire vampire world, based in Volterra, Italy. He plans to force them to end his own life, believing there is no life for him without Bella.
Wow. That's extreme.
It is. Edward's decision to seek death from the Volturi underscores the profound depth of his love and despair. He believes Bella is gone, and life without her is simply unbearable. It highlights that theme of love as both life-affirming and potentially self-destructive. His despair is so absolute that he sees the only release in literally breaking the most sacred law of his species, revealing themselves to humans, knowing the Volturi's justice is swift and inescapable. So you have Edward on this path of self-destruction. Victoria's still relentlessly hunting her. Bella's world is once again just plunged into chaos and impossible choices. It's a powerful, almost tragic reminder that sometimes the greatest dangers and the most profound heartbreaks can come from those we love the most, or from the very act of loving itself. You're listening to Artificially Literate. Just a reminder, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Do give us a follow if you're enjoying the deep dive.
Zooming out for a moment, the intertwining of these two immense threats, Victoria's personal vengeance and Edward's suicidal despair targeting the Volturi, it forces Bella to confront the true, undeniable cost of her extraordinary connections.
She's caught in the middle.
Completely. She is not just caught between two loves, but literally between two warring supernatural species, both of whom she cares for deeply in different ways. It truly brings to light that quote we discussed earlier: "Love is irrational. The more you loved someone, the less sense anything made." Her life, once ordinary, is now this whirlwind of impossible choices, demonstrating that in this world, love is not only a blessing, but also a profound burden.
The race against time and a new horizon.
Okay, this is truly where the pace of the book just kicks into high gear. It becomes this breathless, frantic sprint. Alice and Bella embark on this desperate race against time, a cross-continental dash to save Edward from the powerful and unforgiving Volturi.
To Italy.
To Italy. Alice's vision, as we mentioned, is frustratingly imperfect because of the werewolves. There are these tantalizing gaps in her foresight.
She can't see everything clearly.
Right. But she knows Edward plans to publicly expose himself in the brilliant sunlight in Volterra's main plaza, directly under the iconic clock tower. That's the plan.
Forcing the Volturi's hand.
Exactly. Forcing them to execute him for breaking their most sacred law of secrecy. This perilous journey highlights the incredible, enduring bond Bella has formed with the Cullens, especially Alice.
Yeah, their friendship really shines here.
It moves beyond just her romantic connection to Edward into this deep familial loyalty. It's a testament to the powerful idea that love often requires immense personal sacrifice and unimaginable courage.
Pushing ordinary people to do extraordinary things.
Totally. This literal race against the clock becomes a profound fight for life, not just for Edward, but really for Bella's own future and her sense of purpose.
It all hinges on this.
Meyer vividly describes the journey through the congested Italian city, Bella's frantic, almost desperate sprint through the crowded plaza, ignoring the confusion and anger of the human revelers, pushing through the throngs, all desperately trying to reach him as the clock begins to toll the hour, vibrating under her feet, each chime like a hammer blow against her hope. It's incredibly tense.
It's a heart-stopping sequence, isn't it? What's so compelling here is Bella's singular, unwavering focus amidst such overwhelming chaos. She is willing to risk absolutely everything, including inadvertently exposing the entire Cullen family and, by extension, the entire hidden vampire world, just to save Edward.
The stakes couldn't be higher.
It's a powerful statement about agency, determination, and profound loyalty, even in seemingly impossible life-or-death situations. It really makes you consider, how much would you sacrifice? How far would you go for a love that defines your very existence?
It's a big question.
Bella reaches Edward just as he's about to step into the blinding sunlight. That moment of incredible tension, the sun literally on his skin, threatening to expose him.
Just in the nick of time.
Their emotional reunion is this brief, intense burst of relief, like a
Right.
gasp of air after suffocating for months. But it's immediately followed by the ominous arrival of the Volturi Guard,
Here they come.
led by the chilling Jane, whose sweet face belies her terrifying power to inflict pain.
Yeah, Jane's scary.
The imposing Felix, who's just brute force, and the tracker, Dimitri. This scene is a powerful culmination of all the tension and despair that is built up. It offers that fleeting moment of hope before new, even greater dangers arise, and it vividly emphasizes the constant, inherent threat Bella's human presence brings to the vampire world's long-held secrecy.
They cannot let humans know.
Exactly. We witness Jane's chilling power to inflict pain with just a glance, reducing Edward to agonizing agony. We see Arrow's unnerving ability to read thoughts through touch, uncovering all secrets with a single contact. Arrow is fascinated by Bella.
Immediately. Arrow's fascination with Bella's unique shield ability, her mind being impenetrable to psychic powers, and Alice's rare future sight is palpable.
It makes them valuable and dangerous.
Which ultimately leads to the Volturi's chilling offer to let Bella join them. An invitation veiled in menace, because they truly offer a choice between transformation or death. There's no third option. So, what does this all mean for Bella, now literally face-to-face with the most powerful vampires in the world? In a truly audacious twist, she uses this moment, this confrontation with absolute power, to demand a vote on her own mortality.
She turns the tables, in a way.
She forces the Cullens to decide her fate right there and then. The Volturis have made it crystal clear. Bella must either be turned into a vampire to protect their secret, or she must be eliminated. Permanently.
No ambiguity there.
Bella, after months of feeling helpless and utterly broken, seizes this precarious moment to reclaim control over her own destiny. She leverages her unique, dangerous situation to force Edward's hand and the hands of his entire family.
A bold move.
It is. This act profoundly challenges the idea of a predetermined fate and powerfully reinforces the strength of individual choice, even when those choices are made under extreme duress, with her life literally hanging in the balance.
You see Edward's reaction, though.
Oh, yeah. We see Edward's initial anger and deep disapproval of this vote. He thinks it's too much for her. But also, his reluctant agreement alongside Carlisle's calm, rational approach, understanding the necessity.
Carlisle gets it.
The family's unanimous vote for Bella's transformation is this pivotal moment, a true turning point. It leads to a compromise. Carlisle will be the one to turn her, but only after she graduates high school, giving her a semblance of a normal human ending.
A deadline.
A deadline, exactly.
This moment truly highlights the complex interplay between choice and circumstance, doesn't it? It compels us to consider, is Bella truly choosing her path freely? Or is she in fact just choosing the least painful option available to her, given her unwavering, all-consuming love for Edward?
That's a really good point. Is it true choice?
And what's so compelling here is Edward's subsequent unexpected proposal of marriage as a condition for her transformation.
The proposal. Right.
It's not just a grand romantic gesture, though it is romantic. It feels like a profound statement about commitment, a deeply human desire to anchor their relationship beyond the immediate crisis, a way to solidify their bond before they enter an immortal existence.
Grounding it in a human tradition.
Exactly. Bella's initial resistance to marriage stems from her parents' failed union, her own young age, a more modern sensibility. But their negotiation ultimately leads to a compromise. 18 months, or after graduation, when she will be human no longer.
She gives in, eventually.
This negotiation highlights the profound complexities of commitment, tradition, personal desires. Edward's reasons are multifaceted. He wants to protect what he perceives as her soul.
Right, the soul argument.
Ensure her choice is fully informed and truly hers without regret, and paradoxically, adhere to human societal norms like marriage that he, an ancient vampire, deeply respects. Bella's resistance reflects her own trauma and practical concerns, yet ultimately her love for him overrides these. She thinks with striking clarity, compared to the fear that he didn't want me, this hurdle my soul seemed almost insignificant.
Wow. That says a lot.
It really does. Edward, with his characteristic playful insistence and dry wit, even quips, "I'm nearly 110, it's time I settled down," bringing a touch of humor to a moment laden with such weighty decisions.
Gotta love Edward's old man humor.
Yeah.
And finally, as the dust settles and a semblance of normalcy returns to Forks, what's so fascinating is the lingering, poignant presence of Jacob Black.
Jacob.
Still there. Despite Bella's ultimate choice to be with Edward, their deep connection and the newly solidified treaty between their families create this truly unique and complicated dynamic moving forward.
It's not a clean break with him either.
Not at all. The epilogue treaty describes a fragile return to a semblance of normalcy, but Jacob remains a constant protective presence. He acts as a spokesperson for his pack and their ongoing interactions with the Cullens, a vital bridge.
He has to navigate that.
He expresses his lingering hurt and anger at Edward, naturally, but also his unwavering, almost desperate love for Bella. This highlights the enduring nature of loyalty, the pain of unrequited love.
Yeah, poor Jacob.
And the difficult choices people must make when their loved ones are at odds. Jacob's character adds immense depth to the narrative, providing that vital, earthy counterpoint to Edward and ensuring Bella's path is never simple or free of conflict.
He keeps it messy, real.
You hear his frustration, for example, saying, "I'm already grounded. Why do you think I haven't been down to La Push to kick your butt for avoiding my phone calls?" It's this raw, human plea amidst all the supernatural drama.
Shows his vulnerability despite the new power.
Exactly. The treaty itself is a fragile piece, perpetually tested, and Bella's final, resolute commitment to Edward forever sets the stage for what is yet to come, a future that promises both eternal love and, undoubtedly, continued peril.
This concluding dynamic truly brings home a central theme. What does it truly mean to be a danger magnet, as Bella so often refers to herself?
Yeah, she really does attract trouble.
This entire deep dive has shown us how her very existence, her profound choices, and her intense relationships with both human and supernatural beings draw both incredible defining love and immense life-threatening peril. Ultimately, New Moon is about Bella's arduous journey to finding strength and self-acceptance, not just for herself, but maybe to protect those she loves, even when navigating impossible choices and constant external threats.
She steps up.
She decides that she needs to be strong, to be an active participant in her own fate, even if that means embracing an eternal future with Edward, being with them in a fundamentally different way. It's a story about the profound, often terrifying cost of extraordinary love and the personal resilience found within that crucible. And as Bella herself concludes, encapsulated the depth of her devotion and the extent of her transformation, a testament to her ultimate choice. If you stay, I don't need heaven.
Powerful ending line for the book.
Outro. And that brings us to the end of our deep dive into Stephenie Meyer's New Moon. Wow, what a journey of profound loss, unexpected rediscovery, and the ultimate test of love and sacrifice. We've seen Bella grapple with her own mortality, navigate truly impossible choices, and ultimately find strength in some very unexpected places, forging a new, eternal path for herself.
It truly highlights how even in a world brimming with vampires and werewolves, the core human emotions, grief, loyalty, the relentless quest for identity, the complexities of love, they remain universally resonant.
Yeah, they really do.
Bella's story, while fantastical, mirrors our own complex struggles with love, sacrifice, and the enduring challenge of finding our place in the world, no matter how extraordinary that world might be.
Thank you so much for joining us on Artificially Literate. We really hope this deep dive gave you some new insights and perhaps a few aha moments about New Moon and the enduring themes it explores.
Definitely. Do check out our other deep dives for more thought-provoking discussions into literature, film, and maybe some cultural moments as well. And remember to follow us wherever you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, for more topics just like this one. Stay tuned for our next book. Until then, always remember, feed your brain, starve your inner fool.